Hello guys, nice to have you all. Oh great. I was about I was about notifying him. Okay, Mr. Tola is here and we will just bring him. I'll get to just add him now. Yes, he just sent me a request.
Great.
Hey, Miracle. How you doing?
Nice to have
Yeah,
you.
nice
Good
to be
evening.
here. Good evening.
Oh, sorry. One moment, please. I want to disconnect this from my speaker.
Okay.
Please a moment. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
This is better. Okay, nice. How was the day, sir? Nice to have you.
Yeah. The day was good. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you very much for joining. Of course, we understand already that we are a few minutes away from our time. So, and we want to just go into what we have today. Yes, I know you guys are already salivating. You have your paper, you have your writing pad ready. So, I'll quickly introduce Mr. Tola. Um, Mr. Tola has been someone who I've always admired for a very long time, and about a decade ago, so many years ago, I can't remember exactly when, but I started looking out for people who inspire me and people who I really want to, follow in the industry. And he was one person that has always been quite unique. And I'm very glad to have him in the session today. And today we'll be talking about a very important topic. Oh, by the way, Mr. Tola is my mentor. If you want to really know who my mentor is, Mr. Tola is my mentor. Okay, I know you may be asking, he is my mentor. Okay, and it's a journey I will want to go 1,000 times. So, guys, today we want to be talking about value-based pricing. If you are a designer, you've always had this question about pricing first is on its own a different topic, and then but I think all of them are very interrelated. So today he will be dealing on this topic. He will be talking in depth on this topic. Please, if you have your questions, kindly write them down. He will be answering the question. If he is not able to answer all your questions today, please just ensure that you do a DM to me and I'll get it across to you. So, guys, I want to yield the mic to Mr. Tola. We want to hear from him. You know who he is. He's not somebody that you need to introduce. Okay. This is just housekeeping. So thank you very much, sir. Nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Miracle. I really appreciate it. I've been following like the sessions you've been having, although I've not been able to follow every single one of them, but I think it's a good thing to have these discussions from time to time. And I think they've been very interesting topics to have. So today, I think right to the point, we were going to be talking about value-based pricing, and
Brandon. Prices,
yeah,
sorry.
pricing, yeah, and like this issue of pricing comes up a lot when I talk with designers, not just designers, but just regular business people. So everybody is concerned about what should I be charging, how should I be charging, and when I talk to people, a lot of people ask that. So what are you charging? So it's almost like they want to build their charge from mine, and I'm saying it never works that way.
Yeah.
What you charge is always should be custom fitted to fit your life. You understand? So I think we need to establish the fact that your price is directly related to how what your value is. Pricing is directly related to value, and value is directly related to clarity. So, what this means in essence is people would only pay you how much they think your work is of value to them. They'll only pay you how much they think your work is of value to them. And you only know how much your work is of value to people if you yourself are clear on your highest expression, the highest expression of your value. If you yourself know your value, then you will know what it is to charge. You know what exactly what to charge if you are clear on your value. So I realized that a lot of people want to get pricing right, but they haven't gotten clarity right. And because they haven't gotten clarity right, they don't have value right. So, pricing is hinged on these two things. It's hinged on knowing what your value is, being clear on what your value is. And there are three things that stop people from paying you what you think might be your premium price. Like a lot of designers, a lot of business people go through this. Why do people always price me down? Why do people always say, oh, my rate is too expensive? So there are three things that make people price you down and make people not walk away from you whenever you come up with your price. And the first thing is they do not value you. They might not value you, but they value what you do. You understand? So they don't put value on you, but they put value on what you do. So such a situation is, a lot of people might meet someone that is very talented, and they know that this person is very good. They know that the work is worth a lot. But when they look at the person, they realize that this guy doesn't understand the value of what he's doing. So they take advantage of that. You understand? They take advantage of it. And to be honest, I've done it sometimes. You understand? You see a guy, maybe he's a carpenter or something, and you're like, this guy's work is really good. But because you kind of see that he doesn't understand how good that his work is. You understand? He's still very insecure about his skill set. And he tells you for something that maybe some work is doing, that in your mind, you know that the level of expertise he has, he should be charging like 100K. Maybe he wants to do a table for me, a work table. And I can see what he's done. And I say, ask him to charge like 100K. And he now tells me, so I paid 20K. You understand? Now, I realized that his work is good. I value it. But you see what? I don't put a lot of value on him because he's not exposed to what he knows. So you see, I might even tell him I'm doing him a favor. I say, if you do it well, if you deliver on time, I'll give you 25K. You understand what I'm saying? I've taken advantage of him. You understand? Because he still doesn't know his value. I value his work. You see, when he brings that table to my office, I will take care of it. I will take photos with it. I value it, but I don't value him. Do you understand? And that's why people might not pay you what you deserve. The second reason why people might not pay you what you deserve is when they value you, but don't value what you do. They value you, but don't value what you do. And in such situations, what that means is this happens especially with your friends or relatives who, when they tell you your price is too high, it's not because they don't like you. In fact, they love you. They care about you. But you know what? They don't put value on what you do. They don't put value on what you do. So they're never going to pay that much for it. So if you have a relative that thinks that, okay, that's close to you, but doesn't put value on your design work, knows that your design work is not really that good, they won't pay you that much for it. You understand? They won't pay you that much because they feel like, look, I like Miracle. Miracle is my guy. But you know what? When I want to do my wedding Ivy, I can't take it to Miracle. I won't take it to Miracle because I know that Miracle is not that cool. You understand what I'm saying? So people might value, they might value you, but they might not value the work you do. So you see, those are the things that cause a gap in pricing and value. And that's why I meet a lot of people that will tell you that I've been doing this thing for a while, but people keep underpaying me. I'm not getting, they don't pay me enough. It's one of the two things. It's either the fact that they don't value you as a person and they believe that you do not deserve that amount of money for some reason. They just don't value you. They value what you do, so they will take it and pay you very little. Or they value you, but they don't value what you do. So it's either you raise your profile to a point where people value you. Do you understand? Where people value you as a person, irrespective of whether they value what you do. They value you and they will pay you based on the value they see in you. Or you raise your portfolio where people value your work. even though they value you as a person, they also get to value your work. So when if you're having problem with your pricing, there are two things. It's either your profile or your portfolio. There's something that is lacking. Something is deficient, either in your profiling or in your portfolio. So a lot of times with people in the creative industry, maybe designers like you and I have come to realize that a lot of times it's not the portfolio that is lacking, it's the profile. You understand? It is your person, it is your lack of confidence that is causing that gap between you and your dream rate. It's sometimes you meet some people, it's the portfolio. The portfolio is really bad. And you're like, nobody's going to pay you a lot for this. But with the way the world is right now, a lot of people have upped their game. That's the truth. A lot of designers have upped their game. Many years ago, when people showed me their portfolio, I used to cringe because their portfolios were really bad. But now people show me their portfolio and like, man, everybody's stepping up their game. Everybody knows what they're doing right now. So I realized that it's now the personality. You understand? People don't have, they're not building their profile as people. They're not building their profile. And that comes from the fact that a lot of people are not building skills. They're not building those invisible skills. They're building those visible, tangible skills like how to use CorelDRAW, how to use Illustrator, how to use Figma, but there's a skill that comes before using Illustrator and Figma. Because before someone calls you to use Illustrator and Figma, you need to have had a conversation. That conversation makes them believe that you know what you're doing. So there's conversational skills, there's communication skills that people are not building. People are not confident to talk about, I know how to do this thing, I know my work. You understand? And if you're at that level, you can never build your profile if you're not able to talk about what you do and talk about it convincingly, talk about it with some empathy. People would always pay you based on the work, not based on the profile. And you realize that people that are able to build their profile, even if you don't value what they do, for the fact that they have the profile, you will conform. You conform to their rate. I'll give an example, such as, for me, I'm not a suit and tie person. I don't feel comfortable in a suit and tie. You understand? So and I tell my wife, I'm not a suit and tie person. I'd rather wear trad. You understand?
Yeah.
I feel comfortable in trad. I feel like I'm not wearing that suit and tie. But you know what? And when I say that I'm not a suit and tie person, it means that I'd rather spend my money making trad than sewing a suit. You understand? I'll put more value on someone making a trad for me. That is very nice. Now, that said, if I ever met someone like Maya Tafo, Maya Tafo, and he said, oh, Maya Tafo will be making the suit for you. You see, I don't put a lot of value on a suit. But you see, for Maya Tafo's profile, because it's so high profile, if Maya Tafo should tell me to pay whatever it is he's charging, which might be hundreds of thousands, even millions, if I have the money, I will pay. Not because I value suits, but you know what? I'll respect myself because it's Maya Tafo. For crying out loud, Maya Tafo, man. You understand what I'm saying? I'll respect myself. You understand? So because his profile is so high, people will not argue with him based on, I don't like suits anyway. You just pay. The same thing, like, I'm not a cake person. I'm not big on cakes, you understand? As long as it's nice. I don't really care as in what goes into it per se. But there's some cake makers I've heard of, like Cakes by Tosan. You see, if someone told me I pay for Cakes by Tosan, it's just I will pay because of the name. You understand? The profile. I will respect myself, you understand? But in the taste, it might not taste any different for me than my neighbor making a cake. That's the truth. For me, I'm not a cake person to judge that to that extent. But you see, and that's why we need to build our profile to the point whereby even the people that don't believe, and when people tell me I'm staying in a place and people don't value design, I'm like, no, it's not a matter of people valuing design. It's just that your profile is not high enough. Because your profile gets high to a point whereby you feel like people don't value something, but they will pay because it's you. You understand? They will pay because it's due. They're like, okay, I don't know why I'm paying so much, but it's this guy. You understand what I'm saying? So you see, that's where designers are missing it. They spend so much time on that portfolio, and the portfolio today is not as important as the profile. The portfolio today is not important. I'm sad to say that too, because I'm a designer, but it's not important than the profile, and that's the downside of design. The fact that design is a high level. Design is a high level occupation. It's a high level skill. Design is a high level skill. The problem is
something is wrong. Hello guys, can you hear me? Please notify in the comment section if you can hear me. I want to know where this is coming from. We just lost Mr. Tola. Please, can you hear me? Oh. Please, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, great. So I hope we are getting the point from Mr. Tola. I believe he will be back. So there is no need of. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, nice. He's back. He's back. Great. Sorry, guys. Please be taking notes. This is a lot.
Okay, sorry. I was kicked off there by my first internet provider. So you arrange them now. So I just went straight to the second one now. The other one messes up. Go to the fourth one.
I thought I was alone.
No, it's everybody. We have them arranged right now. So sorry about that. I don't know what the last thing you said was.
So you are talking about design being a high level skill. Right? Yes, that's the key point. Yes.
Yes, design in itself is a high level skill. That's the truth. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Design is a high level skill. The problem is we have a lot of people expressing it at the lowest level. A lot of people are expressing it at the lowest level, but design itself is a high level skill. And what that means is that, you see, when we think design, we always think arrangement of pixels. So when we think graphic design or visual design, we always think arrangement of pixels. We always think of the doing of design.
Yeah.
We think of the doing of design. But the truth of the matter is, Miracle, the doing of design in today's world is not very valuable. It's not very valuable. It's the lowest form of design. It's the lowest form of expression of design. The doing of it, that pushing of pixels, that arranging of colors and fonts and all that stuff. It's how a lot of people express design. But in today's world, unfortunately, it's not that valuable anymore. And I would say it's not that valuable because a lot of people can do it. The process has been made easier, and it's getting easier every day you wake up. Every single day you wake up. Companies like Canva are making it easier for the average person to arrange pixels. Do you understand? It's getting very easy. The other day, my wife designed something, and I was shocked. I used to pose for years. She would tell me, "Tola, design this thing for me. I don't have time. Then just the other day, she was like, "Okay, help me print out this stuff." And I looked at it. I said, and I'd gone out with it, but she sent it to my WhatsApp. And I just looked. I said, "I don't want to design this thing." She said, "Yes." I said, "Man, like you are designing like this now, then I'm scared." You understand? But that's the reality. Because with platforms like Canva, they are making it easier, and it's only going to get easier. You understand? To push those pixels is not going to be hard. And then because it is so readily available, it is not going to be valuable. You understand? It won't be valuable. Just like if I told you now, Miracle, go out of your house and get a stone. How many minutes will you think it will take you to go out and get a stone? If I just told you, just take some time out from this live we're doing right now. Just go out and just get a stone and just show us a stone. How many minutes do you think it will take you?
Of course, it should be depending on how far, but let's just say 5 minutes. 5 minutes is too much. Just a minute.
5 minutes. It's
Five
a
minutes is
minute
too
or
much.
two.
A minute or two.
You see, you are going to deliver on that request, right?
Yes, yes.
Stone, 5 minutes. If you told me to do it, nothing less than 2 minutes to myself, I'll just go out and get the stone. You understand? But if I told you to go out and get gold, do you think you'll come back before the end of this session?
But
I'm not talking about processed gold. I'm saying get raw
get
gold right
gold.
now. It's raw. You can't. You understand? Because it's not that readily available. So you see, that's the problem with that lower rung of design. It's so easy to get. It's so easy to get. So it's not valuable. It's like stone now. Stone is not useless, but it's not as valuable as gold because it's not as readily available. You understand? And that's the problem with that lower rung of design. And you see, a lot of people might say, okay, so if that rung of design is not valuable, then what part of design is valuable? And that's when we need to stop looking at design as just pushing of pixels. Now, the truth about design is that design in itself, the highest form of design is thinking. That's the highest form of design. People feel it is the doing that is the highest, but doing is the lowest. The thinking is the highest. If you are a designer and you can get paid to just think, you've reached the peak of your career, where all you do is they call you to think. You reach the peak. When you are at that middle part where you are doing thinking, more of thinking and less of doing, you are almost there. Where you are at the part where you are doing more of doing, a little bit of thinking, you've moved up beyond. But when you are at the part where you are just doing, just the doing, you are the lowest rung. And the problem, I meet designers that want to be at that lowest rung of the ladder and still want to be able to touch the ceiling of the house. You cannot. You're still at the lowest rung. You can't touch the ceiling of the house. So there's no need to be frustrated. And people get frustrated. People are not paying me. They're not paying me this. They're still paying me 5K. Look, you're going to get the pay when it's 500, they'll be paying you. Do you understand? That's how bad it will get. Because you're at the lowest rung of the ladder. Look, you cannot complain that you know how a ladder is. It has like how many rungs? It has like 10 rungs. So someone staying on the lowest rung and just saying, why am I not touching that ceiling? Why am I not touching the roof? Because you're on the lowest rung. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to keep going up. Then you realize that by the time you get up to a particular place, you'll be touching the roof even without stretching your hand too far. You understand? And there will be a time you'll be above the roof. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the time when people pay you easily just for thinking, just for a few seconds of thinking. So you can see design in itself, the highest form is thinking. It's thinking. And people are not exploring the thinking part of design enough. Although it takes some time to get there, to be trusted as a thinker, but you have to do some things. And that's why we're going to talk about activities. I'll get to activities very soon. But the form of expressions of design, number one, the one we are all familiar with, the doing, the pushing of the pixels, the ordering of things, the activity. Then there is the other part of design where it is the teaching. You understand? And people have started exploring that, but people are not exploring it enough. The teaching, you understand? So you're still doing, but you see, you're not doing as a means of selling. You are doing as a means of raising people's awareness. So you're still doing, but you're doing like examples for people to teach. That's the second rung. Then when you now go above that rung of teaching, there's now the rung of creating platforms that people can use to make design easy. So that's another rung where you're not even teaching per se anymore, but you're creating platforms. Just like the person that created Canva, she's a graphic designer, like Australian graphic designer. But she was thinking, how can I create a platform that will make design easy for people? You see, so right now, then she was not doing design as a service anymore. She was now designing a platform that people can design easily. You understand? So another person I can think of that is doing something similar to that is maybe Evans Akano.
Evans, exactly. You are just on my mind.
He's working on something called VZY. Yeah, Vizy. You understand?
Yeah.
So he has gone from that level of creating logos for people, teaching.
Absolutely.
You understand? Now he's now creating a platform. So it's going up the rung. You understand? If that platform should take flight, people will be interested for him to come and talk about that platform. And that's when it now goes into the level of, speaking. You understand? And that's the second level, because you start speaking about your stuff. And when you speak and you can convince people enough, people start asking about your thoughts on their own projects. They now become a design thinker. So people start calling and say, I'm working on this thing. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? That's when you realize that automatically you're on the top rung of the ladder. You're already touching the roof. You understand? But when people stay on that bottom rung and they say, my logos are better, my websites are now shining, my animation is now faster, that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be you celebrating that lower rung, but you're not getting to a place where people are seeing your work as more valuable. Do you understand? So that's what we must try to do. Get to make our work more valuable in the long run. So if you are going to do this, then we need to be careful of our activities. You see, another I see people do the same activity and expect different results. It cannot happen. No matter how passionate you are, no matter how passionate you are, you're doing the same activity. You never get the same. You never get a different result. And I did that for a long time in my career. You understand? I was like that baddest guy with Photoshop, and I was just tutorial, and I was like, how do you create this effect? But yet I realized that people were still not paying me anymore. People were wowing more. They were like, wow, but it was not a matter of not paying me anymore. It wasn't converting. You understand? Because look, a 2 CL cup can only take 2 CL. No matter how beautiful the cup is, 2 CL can't take any more than that. You understand? So I kept on just polishing that cup, polishing the cup, and expecting that by polishing it, it will take 50 CL. Never. Do you understand? It was even better to get a dirty cup that was 50 CL if I wanted to take 50 CL. You understand? So at the point, I just had to come to my senses and say, this is not working. You understand? It's not working. It's not getting me to talk to more high-profile people. It's not getting me on the decision-making table. It's not. It's just making people say that, oh, we have one really good designer, Tola Alabi, work with him. You understand? But they'll still pay you that change. So I realized that I had to start doing things differently. And this is where I'm going to talk about activity. You know, our activities are like in four segments. There are 4 levels of activities that we, as every human being, has to deal with. We are all presented with 4 types of activities, every one of us. And see, I was having this discussion with my wife, and we're talking about our kids. I know that we are very, very intent about the kind of activities our kids are into. For me and my wife, that's very high priority for us, the kind of activity they are into. And you know, I was telling my wife that, look, there are 4 types of activities. There are activities you like and you learn from. The activities you like doing those things and you learn greatly from. For those kind of activities, you should cherish them and prioritize them, because it's incredible to like something that is highly beneficial. That's a gift. Do you understand? You like doing something and it's incredibly beneficial, cherish it, prioritize it. Then there are activities that you do not like, but you greatly benefit from. You don't like those activities, but you greatly benefit from. Our attitude to those activities is to endure them. That's where a lot of people get it wrong. When they don't like activities, they kind of overlook the fact that they greatly benefit from it, and they're like, oh, I don't like it, cut it out. You understand? But you greatly benefit from it. You should endure it. You see, for me, every morning I drive my kids to school. It is, for me, do I really enjoy the activity? To be honest with you, I don't. I don't enjoy the activity. In fact, there are 2 activities in my day that I don't enjoy. The drive to school, and at night when I have a 6-year-old boy, I have to take his bath for him, monitor his bath and stuff. Those 2 activities, I don't like them. But you see what? I highly benefit from it. I learn a lot. Just that driving my children to school, I get to connect with them. We get to talk. I get to ask them questions. And before you know, we're in school. But I don't like the hold up. I don't like, all those things that get into school. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of driving. But I realized that, should I get a driver to be driving my children? I said, no, I would endure this thing because the benefit is high. I'm going to connect with them. We get to talk on our way to school, on our way back home. So I'm going to enjoy it. Even with my son's bath time. I don't like taking my son's bath for him. But I enjoy it because we get to talk and tell me the most interesting things. And this evening she told me something interesting. I'm like, this is bonding time. I have to enjoy it. I'm learning. I enjoy it. activities that we don't like, and that we don't like but we benefit from. One activity that I didn't like was reading, because I'm highly artistic. I didn't like that reading words. Words were so boring to me. I didn't like reading. Unlike my wife is a reader. You understand? I didn't like reading. And people tell me, read, it's good, read. But I'm like, I don't like it, so I did away with it. But you know what? When I turned, and I didn't catch on to reading till I was like 40. And that was like 2 years ago. So I'm still very new to it. And what I've learned in 2 years has been, I'm like, Tola, why didn't you start doing this thing longer than this? You neglected this thing because you didn't like it. You should have enjoyed it. So that was 2020, COVID came. Nobody had anywhere to go. Everybody was sitting at home. I was just looking at my books. Okay, let me read this book. So I was reading some books. It was boring, but I enjoyed it because I was learning. I was like learning something, but it wasn't like exciting stuff because I'm more visual. But then at the end of the day, I'll be talking with my wife and I'll say something. And I'm like, whoa, that was smart. That was a smart thing to say. So like, where did that come from? That came from that book. I'm like, okay, so I'm learning from these things. I started getting my books. I now got this app called Script. You know, I talk about it on the mentoring group. Yeah. I'm like, and I started listening to books. You see, they were not the most interesting to start with, but I enjoyed them and I've learned greatly. And the thing about enjoying activities that you learn from but you don't enjoy is after a time you start enjoying it. By enjoying it, you start enjoying it after a while. So if you want to grow, and that has really helped me to grow as a designer, because now I've read so many books which a lot of designers are not reading. They're only watching. So they're watching how to do this on Photoshop, how to do this, but they're not consuming book content. And I realized that me consuming book content, when I start talking to clients, I'm now very vast in a lot of industries, a lot of subject matters I can talk to clients on. And I realized that it built their confidence. They're like, okay, I think I trust you on this because you know about this. You understand? I remember the time I went to a client and I was there with a couple of guys. And this woman they took me there because a couple of them wanted to get the job. You understand? She had this project she wanted to start and she wanted to do a logo, but she was kind of cagey about who she wanted to do the logo. So they took me along and they were first showing portfolio. And she was looking at the portfolio, but she was like, oh, I've seen it's good. Like I've seen better. You understand? So we started talking. We even forgot about the work. Then she said something. She said, she talked about a plant. I said, what's the name of this plant? It has 3 leaves. And everybody on the table they were kind of thinking, and like, I don't know the name of this plant. You're like, this Irish plant. And I said, oh yeah, it's called a shamrock now. And she was like, yeah, that's what it is. She said sometimes it's called a 3-leaf clover. You understand what I'm saying? And and you know, that information alone was what made her say, because you know this thing, I think you'll be able to work on my logo. That was the only thing. It wasn't my portfolio. It was the exposure to information. Do you understand? So you know, it's just about that and that came from doing an activity that I didn't really like, but was giving me great knowledge. You understand? So activities you like and give you knowledge, as in those kind of activities, you prioritize them, cherish them. The ones you don't like, but give you great knowledge, endure them by all means. And then the activities that you like, but you don't learn greatly from. You understand? You don't really learn greatly from. Those kind of activities, reduce them, minimize them. The problem is that we kind of heighten those kind of activities. We like them, but we don't benefit a lot from them. Just like, for me, watching Netflix is one of those activities. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'll put it in 2 categories. I learn a lot from Netflix because I watch a lot of documentaries. I hardly watch movies on Netflix. Hardly. Very rarely do I watch movies. But my Achilles heel with Netflix are series. You understand? I get attracted to series and I start them. And then for the next 3 weeks of my life, I'm like, I got to watch this thing. And I commit so many hours to doing it. And at the end of the series, I will learn something, but not that much in comparison to the amount of time I've invested in it. You see, then I now tell myself, Tola, you need to reduce this you're watching of series on Netflix. You need to reduce it. You like it, though, it's nice, but it's not really, you're not gaining much from it. It's just like you go to a river, you walk all the way to a river, and you go with a 25 cl jerry can, and then all you get is 1 cl. You haven't come back empty-handed, but compared to what the activity you did, it doesn't really make much sense. So you don't want to be taking too many of those kind of trips. So those kind of activities, cut them down. Those kind of activities, you might not want to take them out completely because they help you to relax, but cut them down. They won't help you to find your value. I think the very last one are activities that you don't like and you don't benefit from. You don't like them and you're not learning anything from them. And you need to avoid those ones. And for some people listening now, they're like, that's a no-brainer now. That's a no-brainer. Why should I do something that I don't like and I don't benefit from? Well, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. Yeah, of course. But I want to ask you, your job that you are doing, 9 to 5, a lot of your job is that category exactly, as in you don't like it. They're not learning anything from it. They're just punching like a monkey. You understand? They can train a monkey to do that job. There was a time I went to a bank and I said, I can never work in a bank. Depending on the I can never work in a bank, that's true. But I saw this guy and he was a teller. And I've forgotten the activity because it was a while ago. He was counting money or something. But he was so mechanized in it. And it just occurred to me that if I train the monkey can do this guy's job. Because it was so routine. It was like he wasn't even connecting with people anymore. It was just like stamp, count, stamp, count. And I'm like, you see, it's so for that kind of job, you can be so detached from it. And those are some kind of activities that you do not like. And you are not learning a lot from. When I say benefiting, I'm not talking about monetary benefits. You understand? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about intellectual benefits that help you to be able to reflect and know who you are. A lot of us engage in it without knowing it, especially through our 9 to 5 jobs. A lot of people are spending times at jobs that they don't like. And if you ask them what they are learned in the job that they've been working for in the past 5 years, they can't tell you anything concrete, but they're going day in, day out. Those are the kind of people that will find it very hard to know what their value is. Those are the kind of people that don't have any confidence. That comes from hammering on your confidence every day by doing those kind of activities. So those first 3 activities, the first one, engage yourself in let those be the activities you engage yourself. Those ones that you like and you learn from. As in keep them in a very special place in your life. You understand? To you. Those ones that you have to endure, don't be so dismissive of them because they might just be diamonds in the rough. For me, those are the activities that have really changed my life. Those ones that I've had to endure. And that's not just in business, also in relationships. A lot of people, especially in marriage, are at that point where they don't understand that the first few years of marriage might be an endurance race. They don't understand that those first few years, those first 4 years, or maybe 5 years, you coming together with somebody, you might feel like, oh man, why did I make this? Especially for guys, because guys are so independent. But when you get married, you now tell someone, okay, I'm going down the road to buy. And then why did I tell them I'm going down the road and I'll be back in 5 minutes? But then I used to be like that when I got married. I'm like, no, me and my wife used to have those kind of disagreements on where did you go? You should have told me. Or stuff like, we'll just be watching TV and I'll just get up and go to bed. And then she'll wake up next morning and say, you were watching TV, you didn't even say good night. And you knew I was going to bed, you understand? So you see, it was an endurance for the first few years. But then it was a diamond in the rough. Because after those first few years, we understood each other. And then it became beautiful. We started to enjoy it. You understand? But a lot of people cut off marriage immediately. They will say, me and my husband, we don't get along. Irreconcilable differences. No, you just didn't want to endure. Go through that endurance phase, or just, I'm learning from this thing. But I don't like it right now, but I'm learning. You understand? So those are the kind of activities that we engage in that allow us to know our value. And when you're clear about your value, then pricing becomes very easy. Positioning yourself becomes very easy. Saying no to somebody that comes and offers you less than what you believe you are becomes very easy. You see, one of the biggest issues, and I feel apart from activities, one of the biggest issues that people have when it comes to pricing or value is this mentality that people want to dictate what their value is rather than embrace what their value is. They are more interested in dictating the value than in finding the value. Now, this might sound confusing, but I'll explain it this way. I'll give you an instance. When I was growing up, you see, I knew I was very good at drawing from very early on. I knew I was good at drawing. I'll be surprised. I think I came out with a pencil in my hand when I was born because I love to draw. I can't remember the first time I drew. I love to draw. It was like oxygen to me.
Yeah.
So I knew I was good at drawing. But you see, when I got into my teenage years, I was a complete church boy. You understand? I used to go to church. It was homeschool church. There was never any party or anything. And I love church. I wasn't the kind of person that was forced to go to church. Church was just fun. The church I grew up in was fun. You understand? So my friends were either school friends or church friends, never any street friends or any, no, it was always people of church. And you know, my friends in church then, a lot of them could sing. A lot of my friends could sing. They're good singers. And you know, by association, I wanted to sing. So they were all part of choir, band, and stuff like that. But you know, I couldn't sing. You understand? I'm not the best of singers. Just even yesterday, my daughter was telling me I was singing on my own, just enjoying myself, and my daughter was just singing. I said, "Daddy, don't go there anywhere where they are singing again. Don't even." So I know I'm not the best of singers. You understand? So, but at my teenage years, because I wanted to hang out with my friends, I joined the choir and I joined the band. But you know what? My friends that could sing were always getting selected to sing. Me, because I couldn't sing, I was always getting thrown at the back. So when it was time to sing, they're like, "Okay, back with these people. Okay, the other guys come to the front to the mic." And I was trying to develop my singing skills. I would take honey, I would take raw eggs, but my voice wasn't getting any better. And my friends were just doing it effortlessly. They were singing effortlessly. And you know, it was frustrating to me. And that was the problem. I was trying to force what I wanted my value to be. I wanted my value to be singing. But you see, I didn't embrace what my value really was, which was art. Until later on, I just said, "Look, I'm not getting any better at this singing." And someone gave me an opportunity to draw. And as I drew, everybody saw it and was like, "Oh, who made this poster?" I'm like, I made the poster. Then there was no computer to make posters. You had to draw everything. And I made the poster and everybody was like, "This poster is really nice." And people were celebrating me. And I was like, wow, why was I trying so hard to be celebrated with somebody else's value instead of digging into my own value and just allowing it to flow and people will celebrate me? So you see, the mistake people make is that they want to dictate what their value should be rather than taking time to find their value. Because the truth is that, miracle, your value was given to you when you were born. It was given to you. The only task you have is to find it. God has equipped you with every single thing from when you were born to be successful on earth. Everything. You just need to find it. It's just like, you know, with phones, iPhone, Samsung. Those guys have built in everything you need to enjoy those phones. All you need to do is read the manual and find out those functions and you will enjoy it. But if you take a phone and try to use it as a hammer, because a hammer sees the phone and says, "Okay, I should be able to hit things too," a phone will get destroyed while the hammer will stay intact because the phone is not keying into what its exact value is. You understand what I'm saying? So, but the phone has been factory fitted with everything it needs. So you see, when we were born, everything we needed, everything, our character, our voice, our height, everything, our mannerisms, they're all given to us so that, look, we can be high value and we can be paid well if we are using it for business. See, when you struggle with pricing, it just means that you've not done enough work finding your sweet spot. When you find your sweet spot, you realize that you do it effortlessly, just like my friends were singing effortlessly while I was drinking raw egg, but it wasn't helping. Do you understand what I'm saying? You will do it effortlessly and people will appreciate it. So the mistake is that we try to hold on. We try to form what our value should be rather than uncover it. We try to form it. So you see, I was talking about my daughter when I was singing yesterday, and she said I shouldn't go near anywhere where they sing. Just 2 years ago, I was talking with my wife and trying to help her to get clarity on her own work. And my daughter was just watching us. And she watched us for like 20 minutes talking. And then when we just finished talking, there was some silence. She just said, Daddy, that is what you should be doing. You should be talking to people. That's your job. You should be talking to people. You see?
Wow.
And at that time, she was just a young girl. She was like 8 years old. For an 8-year-old to be able to say that, look, that is your value. That was when I now decided, look, you know what? I'm going to lean into this thing called speaking. Speaking to people, encouraging people, and I'm going to look for all manners of ways to express it. I'm going to speak, I'm going to write, I'm going to do this, So you see, the value, I didn't learn to speak. It was in there already. So for me, I was doing it in the house passionately. But because it was so natural, and I'd learned how to do it over time. You see, why do I know how to speak? Because whenever I go to places, I don't really write down what I want to say. When I was preparing for this, I didn't write down. You see, when my wife wants to go have a speaking engagement, she has to memorize every single thing she wants to say. I don't memorize, I just say it because it comes to me naturally. It's my sweet spot. You understand? I don't learn it. But how did God train me to start speaking? Because I speak to myself a lot. I speak to myself from when I was young. It was when I grew up that I realized that people don't really speak to themselves and it's frowned on in society. But I thought it was a normal thing.
Very true. Very true.
When I'm in the room, I'm talking to myself and my wife is even used to it now. Just say, you're having a board meeting again, Abi. How many of you are in that board meeting now? Because I'm the only one in the room. But I'm talking to myself. When I'm talking on the street, I'm talking to myself. And my wife said, don't stop talking to yourself on the street. People will think you're not okay. But I did that for all my life.
Wow.
And because of that, I got a lot of training in how to speak my thoughts. You understand? So it's very easy for me to speak my thoughts. So you see, it was natural. But see, if you embrace that which is yours and you're not ashamed about it, you're not defensive about it, you're not trying to hide it, you realize it will lead you to that place of highest value where you do it and people will pay you very highly to do it. And you won't even be interested in payment per se. You'll be interested in impact. The payment will be the cherry on the top. You understand? You will do it and you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting paid for this stuff. You understand? You'll be thankful for the payment rather than entitled to it. You understand? So value comes from embracing that which is within you. Lean into it some more. Lean into it some more. Embrace your style of doing things. Embrace your style of conversation. Do the right activities. You understand? And that's when you realize that you start going up the ladder. You start going up the ladder and start connecting with people that you never thought you could connect to on a good day. You understand? So you see, I will still go back to pricing is anchored in value. Value is anchored in clarity. You understand? Yeah, clarity of self, knowing who you are and just embracing that person you are. Once you are yourself, you realize that you stand out. You see, every single part of you is intentional. I am a big hip-hop lover. And for a long time, I used to hide it. You're in the premium club now. People in the premium club know that I love hip-hop in the sense that I can give examples of, oh, this person did this. You see, when I listen to songs, I listen to it. I keep, you see, so for me, but at a point, I used to think it was a flaw. So I used to hide it. How can I love hip-hop? I can't love hip-hop now. Christians don't love hip-hop. It's not right. You understand what I'm saying? You see, so I used to hide it. You see, even when I got married, my wife's not a hip-hop person. So when I got married, I'll go and listen to it in the car. Then I'll come back and you see, but it was for me, it was turmoil. You know, it was turmoil. But you see, and now I don't judge people. I don't judge what should be valuable to people. Like I just said, Netflix. Look, for me, watching series is low returns on intellectual value. For some people, it's high return on intellectual values. Continue watching it. Because some people watch series and they're looking at cinematography. They're looking at camera angles. They're looking at scripts. And they're learning. You can't judge. Because when people write all those funny things like TV is chewing gum for the mind. You shouldn't watch TV. No, no, no. For you, it's chewing gum for the mind. For someone else, it's gold. You understand? My son right now, he watches a lot of TV. His vocabulary is incredible. Because when he watches TV, he's not watching it for entertainment. He's watching it and he's learning. He talks with an accent I don't even know where that. Because when people just ask me, has this boy been abroad before? I said, this boy, yeah, he has only been to Ibadan before. You understand what I'm saying? But he talks with a great accent. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
His English is very good. His English, not just the accent, but his use of English is very good. And he learns from TV. Do you think for someone like him, I would say, no, TV is chewing gum for the mind? No, no, no. I enable him. Do you understand?
Wow.
Because for him, that is his gold. So you need to find what your gold is. You need to find what your gold is if you really want to find your value. So for me, hip hop was big gold for me, because number one, it allowed me to have some level of confidence, because hip hop music is very confident music. You understand?
Yeah.
There's a swagger to it. There's a reason to it. There's a confidence to it. So for me, I appreciate it. And where I was going with this was, I was going to give a hip hop example of leaning into who you are and to make a way for you. See, there's a rapper called Jay-Z. Everybody knows Jay-Z. But Jay-Z, for a very long time, I've heard that he doesn't write his lyrics. Never writes it. Just walks into a booth and just starts rapping. You see, I didn't appreciate that thing because it's very common knowledge. You understand? For people that are into hip hop, it doesn't write. A lot of people have stuff they write, but he doesn't write. He just goes in and just says it on top of his head. But I didn't appreciate it till the day I watched a session where he actually did this thing at a session. Just walked into a studio with a top producer, Rick Rubin, and he just started rapping. Do you understand? And everybody was dumbfounded that this guy didn't write this thing he just said. That means, you see, his brain works differently. Jay-Z didn't learn that ability. He didn't learn it. It was given to him to make him succeed. Do you understand? God gave him that for him to succeed in his craft. Do you understand? And that's why it shows that he's very highly intellectual. You understand? And because he has leaned into it, he has transcended that lower rung. Because even in hip hop, there's a lower rung where you can stay as an artist, but you never get to the top. Where he has gone beyond that, and because of that articulate mind, to be able to analyze words very easily and make sense, he has risen to the point where he's like VP of a recording label. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I really feel like if you lean into who you are, you realize how much you stand out amongst your peers. Do you understand? Just don't be ashamed of those things that you like, those things that you are fond of, those things that you enjoy doing. Don't be ashamed of them. Those things that come factory fitted. Those are the things that are your value. Those are the things that will make you be able to say, I'm charging 1 million, 1.5, 4 million, and some people are struggling to be paid 200,000, and you are getting it easily. Do you understand? Because just have that factory fitted value. But we don't fit into that factory fitted value because everybody wants to be like the next guy. We feel like the next guy is the right template. But he might not be, he's not the right template. You are the right template. You are the perfect template for your own destiny. You are the perfect template. Look, and I was telling people this yesterday. For me, my hair, gray. It's graying every single day. I don't even know how gray it is right now. I think it's like, if I go to rate it, maybe like 75% gray. It's gray. I'm getting gray every day. Look, I used to be ashamed of this. Very ashamed of it. And I used to dye it every single day. I would dye this hair. Every single week. I'll be dyeing, and it was destroying my hair.
Wow.
But you see, people were accepting me because I was fitting in. But when COVID came, I couldn't go to the barber shop anymore. So started growing. And when COVID was when the restrictions were kind of lightened, I went out and people saw the gray hair. And they were thinking, what's going on? Tatola has aged like in this 1 year. But that was who I was, do you understand? But you see, I wanted to go back to dyeing it. But I was like, since people have seen it already, why should I go back to dyeing it? It was hard because people were critical. People were like, dye your hair. You're looking like a 60-year-old. You're looking like this. But do you know what? It I realized that it has helped me in my career.
Mm, mm,
Now, you see, before when I talk to clients, they used to look because I have a youngish face. You understand? For
yeah.
me, before this beard that I'm growing, it took me the whole of 40 years to grow this beard to what it is. The last time
Wow.
the barber cut my beard, I was so mad. I was like, how can you cut this thing? This thing took me years. It took me years. You understand? Because my face was looking very young. And I realized that it was hard for me to do business. It was hard for me to do this because people
Mm,
think that this small boy. They'll say, oh, my son, my son, my son. I'm like, I'm not your son. Let's do business here. But when the
mm,
hair started growing, people stopped saying my son. People started talking to me with more respect. People started
yeah.
listening to me more. People stopped
Mm,
questioning my ideas because it's not
mm,
this guy. This guy is experienced in life. Oh, he knows what he's saying. Let's
mm,
listen to him. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? It helped
mm,
me. So you see, it wasn't a disadvantage. It was a value. I just had to lean into it more. It wasn't to die it. You understand what I'm saying? So there's something you see as disadvantages right now. They're your value. Those are the things that you're covering up that is making you struggle with price. Those very things, the way you talk, because you want to talk like Mr. Tola. Do you understand? You want to talk like me, and because of that, the clients don't like it, and because of that, they don't want to pay you what you deserve. You understand?
mm,
But when you lean
yeah.
into who you are, what comes easily to you, you realize that your value will begin to surface. And then you realize that people will begin to spot it, people will begin to get endeared to you. And then you begin to do those things easily, like pricing. It now becomes easy. You understand? So everything, every feature you have is yours for the taking. Is yours to go into conversations and take over it. You understand? And dominate it. So I really feel those are
Oh,
my thoughts on branding and value-based branding. It's less
oh.
of what you read in books, it's more of what you find out about yourself. What you find out
Mm,
about yourself in the long run.
mm, mm. Thank you so much, Daddy T. This is a whole lot to take in. Like I've been making notes, and my notepad is just full, you know. And I think someone is asking, do you have a book?
No, I don't at the moment, but
You
I'm
know,
working on
so
one. It's one of those things that I don't like doing, but I realize it will be of great benefit. So I'm trying to lean into it. My
absolutely.
wife is encouraging me more about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm trying to get that into it. Yeah, definitely, but
yeah.
not now.
Okay. So we are going to just take one or two questions so we can wrap it up. This is meant to be an hour session, and I don't want to stretch it more than it should be. So I have two questions. I'll ask the first one. It says, Dear Tola, what happened to people who have no options? They need to survive but don't have any unique skills. How then do they break out, especially those in 9 to 5?
Okay. Um, Everybody has unique skills. That's the truth. Every single person has unique skills. I don't believe there's anybody that doesn't have unique skills. Just that some people have not found it. Some
Mm,
people haven't found it. That's the truth. Um, and some people have found it, but they're scared. They're scared to
mm,
commit to it because and at this level, I will get spiritual. Because the truth is, I always believe that if I don't get spiritual, I'm just giving you concepts and stuff that might not really work. So I'll get spiritual.
very true.
So
Mm,
I really hope that this person can connect with me on a spiritual level. Everybody, I dare to say everybody has something extremely unique about them. Everybody has a special skill, something special about them. The only thing is, some people haven't found it. It takes some digging. You understand? And that's why your activities are very important. You understand?
mm,
Dig through your activities. Just like it is hard to find gold. It's hard. So sometimes finding that sweet spot is hard. But don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged because it's hard. See, I was talking to my daughter on the way to school today, and she was telling me, she told me a story. She said, I'll not go through the story. She said, I want to make content for my YouTube channel. So I said, okay, tell me. She said the content is a girl went to a kitchen, her mother was cooking, and then she wanted to take biscuit, and then the mother said, don't take it. Then she took the biscuit, then the mother slapped her, and that's the end. I said, that's the end of the story. She said, that's the end of the story. So that story doesn't make sense now. I said, Daddy, I know now, but it's like skit now. It's like a skit now. We just slapped her and stuff like that. I said, what do you want people to learn from this thing? You want to make content that people are not learning from? said, Daddy, but it's so hard to make content that people will learn from. I need to think and think, but this one, I can just do it and I have content out. I said, yes. I said, the fact that it's hard means that it's valuable. Do you understand? Take the time to think of that hard content. Look, it's better to make one that people will connect to than to make 5 that doesn't make sense. And she mentioned one skit maker on the, hey, this person makes that one now, they always slap and stuff like that. I say, you don't want to be that. I say, you don't want it. Do you know what that can do to somebody? That can make someone believe that if anybody messes with them, they should slap them. Do you want people slapping people? She said, no, I don't want people slapping people. I said, then what do you want people to do? I said, she said she wants people to get along. She wants people to be friends. She wants people to love each other. I said, then you have to think of content that promotes that. And I said, okay, it's hard. And I told her that same thing about gold and stone. I said, gold takes time to find. Gold, stone, you can find it easily. But the fact that it's hard to find is what makes it valuable. So you see, a lot of us give up on that, I don't have anything, because you've not spent enough time searching. Yes, some people find it easily. For me, I found it easily. Do you understand? But I went to the challenge of nobody believed that it was value. That was my own challenge to go through. Some people don't find it easily. They need to keep digging. Some people find it, majority of people find it, and they are scared because they are rational in their thinking. They're like, how can I make money? That's always the problem. That is how can I make money question. Has killed more dreams than any other thing. Is a bigger killer than malaria. You understand? This is how can I make money? That question kills a lot of dreams in their infancy. So when you start thinking of what you feel your sweet spot is, just like for me, when I realized that my sweet spot was talking, talking to people. You know, the first temptation is, how do I turn this to a salary? How do I take care of my family by talking? No. That is not your assignment. Your assignment is to talk. It's God's assignment to turn it into what can take care of you. So we are taking up too much responsibility, thinking, oh man. So that person is saying that what person has not found their value. Their value might just be something that they are thinking. They're like, oh man, my value is. I'm thinking of what the most ridiculous thing might be. Might be juggling, just juggling stuff. Like, what do I want to juggle? So they now get rational. That's it. Will I be going to kids' parties to go and be juggling for them? How much will they? So in the end, they've rationalized it, and they don't realize that that is not your place. Is not to rationalize. Your place is to submit to that which is yours. Just submit to it. Lean into it. Don't rationalize. How can I make money from it? You see, when I started making Pro Masterclass, and I told this story so many times, when I started making Pro Masterclass, I was recording, and my rational mind was like, maybe YouTube will start paying me from this. Because it was, how can I make money? Or else it's not worth it if I'm not making money. So I was recording videos. And remember, I have a family, I have kids, I have a wife, I have to take care of them. But then I'll come back home and I'll record a video with the hope that by some miracle I'll hit 1 million views and YouTube will start paying me. I didn't know it was so hard. It was so hard to have 100 views. But after like months of doing it, I was not getting the views and I was not getting the money from YouTube. So I became discouraged. I said, no. I can't be talking like this and giving people knowledge and stuff. It doesn't make sense if it's not paying me. So I stopped doing it. I stopped for a while. I got discouraged. I went back to working actively as a designer because I said, this talking thing doesn't pay. Do you understand? The design thing pays more than the talking thing, even though I enjoy the talking thing. But I was like, doesn't pay. So I might as well go back to design. So it's just like the disciples went back to fishing when Jesus died and I had to call them back. I went back to design. I didn't really enjoy it, but I was still doing it because I was paying the bills. Then something happened. Somebody watched one of my videos, watched my channel, and called me and said, "Tola, I just watched your YouTube channel." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. I wasn't." I was like, "Okay, yeah, you watched it, yeah." And she said, "Do you want to come and talk to us at our place of work? Because this thing you're saying is really cool." And I was like surprised. I said, "Serious? I should come and talk to them?" Yeah. I was like, you see, at that point, I wasn't even thinking about money. I was just like, man, serious people want to listen to this thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'd like to come and talk. And I'm like, okay, so put together a proposal and let's know how much it will cost. And I was like, this proposal for this kind of thing, just come and talk about what I can talk about any day. And I was confused. At that point, I didn't even know how to price. To be honest, when you're
Wow.
pricing, when you don't know your value, you're like, I don't know how to price. So I was like, okay, instead
Very
of going
true.
in there and just pricing rubbish, because I was scared. But in my mind, to be honest with you, Miracle, my mind was like, let me charge them 50K. I'm like, what if they can't pay 50K just to come and talk? Maybe I should do this like 30K. That's what my mind was, to be honest with you. Because I was like, who pays anybody to come and talk about branding? And then I now spoke to the person. I said, you know what? I've never done this before. I don't know how to price. And she was like, okay, so how much would you want to take? She now said, you just come for 2 days and stuff and talk to us. And then she was like, and we'll pay, let's start with 500. That's what she said. She said, let's start with 500. And my mind was like, what? People will pay me 500 for 2 days to come and talk to them about stuff that I record in my living room. You understand? I'll do this thing for free. You understand? This is not hard work now. I don't have to type anything on my computer or show any pixels. Like 500. So you know what? I went to go and prepare the document, 500, and I gave it to her. And she said, 500, but you didn't charge for the second day. I mean 500 per day. That's what she told me. And my mind blew. I said, someone's going to pay me ₦1 million to come and talk to them for 2 days, for 3 hours a day. Miracle, I'm serious. I was shocked because my rational mind could never have thought. My rational mind was YouTube would pay me. That was my rational mind. My rational was YouTube would pay me because if we get rational and we're not submissive, we kind of close the doors on ourselves. Just be submissive. It's not your job to think of how it will take care. This person saying, we have a family, how do I take care of myself? Look, no, that's not your responsibility. You want to just submit. Just do it. The owner will tell you how it's going to pay you. You see, I just went that day, and it was the first time ever in my life I made ₦1 million at once. They paid me before I came. They paid me the day before I came. Never happened before. And they paid me. I'd made ₦1 million accumulatively before, but never at one sitting for one job. And I went there 2 days and I spoke to them for 3 or 4 hours in 2 days, and they paid me. Easiest money I've ever made in my life. Easiest. To be honest, I would never have thought it was possible. But you know what? It would never have been possible if I wasn't submissive enough to set that phone and talk. You understand what I'm saying? I would never have been submissive because it didn't make sense. I was like, how does talking design make sense? But that didn't make sense. You understand? So that's why I told you, we are all been given factory fitted stuff to be successful. That person that is saying that, oh, you have to work the 9 to 5. No. You don't have to. You understand? You just think you have to because you're thinking with your rational brain. You understand? You're not thinking with your submissive brain. When you click into your submissive brain, I just say, you know what? God, you have told me this is what I have. I want to trust you to start doing this thing I have. That's the hardest part. Is that crossing that place and just saying, this is what I have. You see, even after I got paid that 1M, I thought it was a fluke. To be honest with you, if I tell you that after that 1M, I believed and I just packed up on my no, it's a lie. I thought it was a fluke. I thought it couldn't happen again. So after doing that, I went back. I was doing my design by the side, talking again, but I was more ginger to talk. You understand?
To talk, yes, exactly.
Yeah. But then it didn't happen for a while again, till I think, was it 2 years ago? Because this happened in 2019, in 2018, till 2020, the beginning of the year. I just thought to myself, Tola, what do you want? What kind of work do you want to be doing that you would enjoy doing every single day, and it will be fun to you? And I said, God, the job I want to be doing is to be making content for people, and talking and advising. But God, that is not a job. Do you understand? I just advising people on WhatsApp is not a job. You can't even. Most of these people I'm advising cannot even pay me. They're telling me to give them advice about how they can charge 10K. How can the person pay me? The person that doesn't even know how to pay. So I was like, that's not a job. But you know, God ministered to me and just told me, you know what? Do it and see if it wouldn't pay off. You know what? The first few months I didn't do it because I had some big clients that I was like, this big client, that's my lifeline. Those are people that are paying my children's school fees. I'm paying everything I'm waiting for. I must hold on to this big client. You see, it gets to a point where you're not submissive. But if, God loves us so much to allow us to go on being submissive. So he will shake some things. So you see, I didn't obey. I was still doing the speaking by the side, but still holding on to those clients and doing the design work for them. I was hating the design work I was doing for them, but I was doing it because I believed that that was my source of finances. I believe that if those clients should go, I would not survive. But you know what happened? All of a sudden, those clients fired me. They fired me. We had a disagreement, and they fired me. Don't want to work with you anymore. So give us all. It happened all of a sudden so fast that I was shocked, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to be broke. You understand? But you know what happened? When that client left, and I said, okay, I don't have a major client anymore. In fact, because that client was such a big client, I'd focused all my attention on them. And when they left, I didn't have any clients anymore. At first, I was trying to now market myself and say, if you want to do a logo, call me. If you want to do a logo, call me. Nobody was calling. You see, God dried up everything so that I would go back and do the work I had to do. Because He wanted to bless me through that work. And if He has to force you to do it, He will force you. So nobody answered me. So I said, okay, since I have nothing to do, I might as well be recording stuff. So I fully dedicated myself to recording. If you ask my wife, I spent 80% of my day answering people's questions on WhatsApp, recording content, doing voice. That's what I spend 80% of my day doing now. And you know what? Financially, I'm much better than I was when I was doing logos. By some means, someone just called me and say, we need to come and train us. We need to come. People I have never met before will call me and just say, oh, someone said they watched your video on this and you need to come and train us at this. And before you know it, people are paying for training and talking and mentoring and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? So you know what? You might think you're in a difficult position. You might think, oh, I need my 9 to 5 that I hate and I'm not learning from, but I need it to take you. You don't. The truth is you need to lean into your value. That value was given to you to make you prosper, to do things easily. It's just like the Jay-Z value that you can write without you can rap without writing. That was meant to make him prosper. You understand what I'm saying? That thing you see, when you think of someone being able to memorize stuff without writing, I'm like, you would have thought, what can I do with this? This doesn't make sense. But you see, that was a useful gift at the end of the day. So you see, whatever you have, you need to lean into it. You need to be more audacious. If you can get over that fear hump is the hardest thing. But if you can get over it, I dare you to get over your fear hump and commit to doing stuff that you're meant to do for just, let's say a couple of months. You understand? Number one, I will guarantee you won't die. Your family won't die. That mentality that, oh, if I stop this my job, I will die is a lie. You won't die. That money will come one way or the other. God will take care of you. Look, when you lean into your value, you are doing God's work. That's the truth. When you lean into your and you can't do God's work and He won't take care of you. He doesn't work that way. You understand? He will take care of you more than you think. You understand? So that's my answer to that person. The truth is, you might not have found it, or you might have found it and you're ignoring it. But I would encourage you to stop ignoring it and just lean into it. Lean into it.
Whoa, man. I think we should just go and when you're done listening, just carry your head and go and lie down. There is a whole lot. There is a whole lot that you really give. In fact, this session, I think, of course, I was already thinking about that. We're going to have a repeat session. We're going to have this session again, so that we can be able to touch. I wanted to just keep this to just be an hour. Just like it spoke. So I have some questions, but I'm going to keep these questions. So we are going to just follow me on my Instagram handle. I'm going to discuss with Okutola, and then he's going to tell me when it's also free for him. Of course, tomorrow we're having a session. We're starting a boot camp. So I have a whole lot jam-packed already for me to handle. So, but guys, you can go to the replay of this session, right? You can go to the replay of this session. Take time, because it's not about how much. See, you can even find your answers in what he has said already. He has said a whole lot. So it's not about how much he is saying. It's about how valuable it becomes for you. It's about how you convert these things and how you put them into action, how it converts for you. Because people get to listen a whole lot and people get to be so excited. But when you look at their life, it's not really converting, right? So it's more important of you living what he's saying than you hearing them. Hearing them is the first process. But living them and letting these things transform you, that's what matters the most. So please kindly go to my replays on my Instagram and go and watch them. Thank you so much, sir. I so much appreciate this session. It's an honor having you tonight. I am so glad
Thanks
that
for
you made
having me.
outside. And I hope to meet your daughter. That your daughter is already he has already he has already taken your similitude, he has already taken your person. Man, you are just talking, I'm like, oh wow, such a child at that age is already thinking that's it's just an interesting session. So thank you very much. And guys, I'm going to allow Uncle Tola to say goodbye to us. And of course, I'm going to give you feedback in my Instagram and when we are going to have the next session.
Yeah.
So guys,
thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for joining. This session is just meant to be an hour, like I said. If you have a question and you've not asked me, please send me a DM. I'm going to reach out to you with that answer. Either I reach out to him or I'm going to reach out to him and give you an answer. If it's something I can answer, I will answer you. So, guys, do have a lovely good night. Have a good weekend as well. Oh, something I'm forgetting. Mr. Tola will be talking in our boot camp. I'm trying to run away from this time. He's going to be talking in our boot camp. Yeah, Business of Design. That is hosted by Design Series. That's the title of the boot camp, the Business of Design. And he will be speaking. Follow my Instagram handle, please. You're going to see a link in my bio. Click on the link. You're going. If you've not registered, you can register tonight because the form is shutting down tonight. The event is starting tomorrow, live on Google Meet. We'll be talking on the topic Life Branding and Design Leadership, June 25th. That's this month. Okay, it's going to be a 2 months bootcamp. We're having 9 amazing speakers coming to speak to designers, and it's stuff like this that you're going to be hearing from different speakers. So, guys, please ensure that you're part of it. Good night and God bless you. Cheers, everyone.
All right, good night. Take care.